Your ads could be on fire, but if the landing page that you're sending your traffic to is broken, then you're just pouring money down the drain. In this video, I'll show you all the key elements that you need to include and think about in your landing page to make sure that it converts on autopilot. And if you're not already doing these things, then I guarantee your conversion rates will improve. Why listen to me? Well, these are the tips and the tricks that we use to build out our own landing pages for our fitness clients to help them generate more customers. So stay with me till the end and I'll go through some of the most overlooked elements when it comes to landing pages, and I'll also cover some do's and don'ts when looking at examples of landing pages. Okay, so I've built out a very quick sort of presentation to go through first. This is going to cover what I've called the essential elements, the optional elements, and then just some extra stuff that you might be interested and will be helpful to you when it comes to you building out your landing pages. And then afterwards, I'll go through some examples. I'll show you an example of a good landing page, and then I'll also show you some examples of some landing pages that maybe missed the mark, and we can look to avoid the mistakes that they make. Okay, so this is our landing page guide. So a landing page isn't just about looking good. It's about guiding users through a structured journey that moves them from attention to action, and we'll show you how we do that. Okay, so first we'll cover the essential elements, or what I'm calling the essential elements. Now, the reason that they're called this is because if you don't have these elements in your landing page, then I just don't think that you can call it a landing page. So first we have the headline. Okay, so this is an opportunity to scream your amazing offer from the rooftops. So some key points when it comes to your headline are: focus on the prospect. Okay, so make it about them and not you. This is going to be a common theme that you see come up. This doesn't just apply to the headline. This is sort of key to the entire landing page. So you'll see this come up again and again, but very important in the landing page. So focus on benefits or problems. So clearly state what benefits they will receive or what problems that you are solving. So we need to focus on the prospect, and not only are we focusing on the prospect, but we're focusing on either the benefits that they can receive once they start using our service or our product or program or whatever you're advertising, or we start talking about the problems that we are solving by putting them through this service, product, program, again, whatever you're selling. Create curiosity or urgency, so just encourage them to keep reading. Okay, so use some compelling language, don't give it all away in the headline, show them the bold offer, show them the problem you're solving, show them the benefits that you're promising them, but don't tell them too much so that they have to continue on down the landing page to understand truly what is going into this offer. So some examples: struggling with knee pain, fix it in just 7 minutes a day. Okay, so here we're displaying some clear problem, which is knee pain. We're showing a clear benefit, which is fix it. And then we're also showing intrigue by saying you can just do it in 7 minutes a day. So people are then going to instantly be curious if they already have knee pain and they want to fix it, and they qualify for the problem and for the need for the benefit, and then they want to understand more because they just are thinking, well, how am I going to fix this in just 7 minutes a day? There we've built curiosity, and they're going to naturally scroll down the page. And we're doing that again here with struggling to lose fat, stop guessing, follow a proven 12-week plan for real results. So again, exactly the same thing. We're talking about a problem, lose fat, follow a proven plan for real results, benefit, and then they want to understand what's going into this proven 12-week plan. Okay, so we're talking about a benefit, a problem, build curiosity. These are good headlines. And then secondly, the last essential element is a lead form or an opt-in form, and then a call to action. So we basically need to give the people that are coming to our landing page an opportunity to pass over their information to us, and we can only really do that by having some sort of lead form or an opt-in form, whatever you want to call it. And then we also need a call to action to basically tell people this is where they fill out the information. This is how they turn themselves from a potential lead to a lead. So you're going to see simple is a very common theme here. So make the form simple. The fewer fields, the better. Name, email, and phone. These are usually all you need. More steps equals more resistance to take action, which equals less leads, which is bad. So 3 things that we definitely need: a name, an email, and a phone. Sometimes we don't even need an email or a phone. We can pick one or the other, whatever your preferred sort of channel of outreach is in terms of following up with the lead. I recommend have both, so we can use a number of touch points. But if we're asking anything more than that, perhaps we're asking age or current fitness sort of situation or fitness goals, this can add resistance, which we don't necessarily want to do at this stage of the process. So keep it simple. 3 things that we need: name, email, phone. And then again, make the call to action super simple. So think, could a 7-year-old understand this? So an example would be click here to start free trial, or click here or to start da-da-da. So we're making it very clear for anyone that's reading it to understand. I mean, click here to start free trial. There's not really a lot to misunderstand about that. Don't use any fancy jargon here. Now's not the time for complicated tactics or techniques. Simple is key when it comes to your call to actions. And then reinforce urgency. So let them know why they should take action now. So what we don't want to do is use fake urgency. So we don't want to pretend that we're only taking on 10 people when in reality we're taking on 50 people. Or we don't want to pretend that the offer ends in 2 days when in reality we know it's going to end at the end of the month. So don't lie. But if you have a particular amount of slots that you're able to take on, make sure that you tell people that. Or if the offer does end on a particular date, make sure you tell them that. So don't lie, but if there is scarcity within an offer, which majority of the time there is, offers can't last forever and you can't take on an unlimited amount of people. So make sure that you are making people aware of the scarcity of the offer that you're putting into your headline. Okay, and then we've got optional elements. Now, I've called these optional elements because I just thought that that was like the opposite of essential. I wouldn't say that these are optional as such. I think that you should be including them here. But if you don't include them, then you might still be able to build out a fairly successful landing page. But I recommend that all of these, if you can put them in, all of these should be included in your landing page. So first we have media, so images or videos. So this is an opportunity to show your prospect more about your service. A strong image or video can increase conversions by showing the product in action or evoking emotion. Okay, so essentially all we're trying to do here is tell a bit more of a story, show our prospects more about the thing that they are inquiring about or looking into or thinking about buying. So again, focus on the prospect like we do in the headline. We need to always make sure that the prospect is the focus. So these are the 2 questions that you really truly need to understand. What problems are you solving, and then what benefits will they get after they pay you money? So once you understand what the answers are to those 2 questions, then that is basically your landing page done. I mean, not completely, but in terms of headline, imagery, videos, and copy, those are the 2 main things that you just need to talk about the whole time. Okay, we're not really focusing too much on the how or the features. In the examples that I'm going to show you after this, there's really good example of how you can touch on the features and touch slightly on the how you're going to get people the benefits or how you're going to solve the problem, but without it becoming the focus. Okay, so we touch on the how, but we circle back around to benefits, or we circle back around to the problems that are being solved. So you'll see that in action in a minute, but that needs to be made clear here. So basically, tell them about this. Scream it from the rooftops, the problems you're solving, the benefits you're giving them. So a type of video which is quite common and can be really effective if done well is a VSL, or a video sales letter. Okay, so essentially this is a simple video you're putting at the head of your landing page, and it's basically you talking to the camera and basically explaining why people should convert or do the action that you're asking them to. So fill out the lead form or buy the thing. So basically we are using this VSL to do the above. Don't tell them about yourself because no one cares. They care about themselves, so that's what you need to speak about. A short section about you at the end is fine, but never start with this. So when it comes to marketing and we're looking at videos, a very key part of any sort of video, no matter where you're putting it on an ad, organic, VSL, Instagram short, Facebook reel, YouTube video, you name it, a very important part of any video is the hook. And the hook is the first opening moments of the video. Now this can change in length depending on the size of the video. So for a TikTok or an Instagram reel, this is the first 3 seconds. For a YouTube video that's 10-15 minutes long, perhaps it's the first 30 to 60 seconds. So it can vary in length depending on the size of the actual video. But the hook is an extremely important part of any sort of marketing video. So do not waste your hook, because this is where most people leave, okay? There'll be a dramatic drop off as soon as people start, and the amount of people that drop off from the video will just plummet in that first 30 seconds to a minute. So that's really valuable. We want to get people hooked, hence the name hook. So do not waste this section talking about yourself. Talk about them. Talk about the problems you're solving. Talk about the benefits that you're giving them. Don't, people don't really care that much about the degrees or the qualifications that you have and the experience that you have and where you're located and how you've got a great connection with your customers and you've built a really great community. That stuff is important and can be mentioned later, but in the beginning we talk about them, purely about the prospect. And then again, this comes up a lot, but we're keeping it simple. So the media should support your message and not distract from it. Okay, so everything is one cohesive thing. Okay, this whole landing page needs to be very structured. It needs to be structured well. It needs to be cohesive, and it needs to focus on one singular thing. Okay, we can't start talking about all sorts of different stuff. Everything must support each other. Okay, so that's very important. So then we have the copy, so the writing basically. So after the headline, the next element that helps convert visitors is the supporting copy. Now, I'm saying the supporting, and I've mentioned that we don't need to use all of these things. Like I said, I'd recommend that you do use all of these things, because if some people come to a landing page and they're not interested in watching a video, but they're interested in reading your copy, then they can do that. Or if they don't want to read your copy and they want to watch a video, then they can do that, and they can just skip the bit that they're not interested in. However, if they really wanted to watch a video and read some copy, and they don't have the option to do that because you haven't included it, then that might hurt your conversion rate. Whereas people that maybe don't really care for the copy or don't care for the video could just skip. Okay, now these are things that you could test, because also if you're putting in too much stuff that people don't care about, then you are just going to lose traffic, you're going to drop your conversion rate. So you need to be careful with this. But I would recommend at the beginning stages to include it, and then after that, and you've got a good idea of where your conversion rates are at, then you can make tests, get rid of certain sections, add more to others, and see what that does to the performance. But anyway, some important notes when it comes to copy. So motivation and value. So again, explain the benefits, not the features. Very important. Now, hopefully that's already clear by now, but I just wanted to make this very clear that particularly in the copy, we want to focus on benefits and not the features. Again, the next one is also very important. There should be two. Address pain points. What problem does this product solve? Push that all over the copy, like we've done for the headline in the video. And again, use simple language, so avoid jargon, keep it clear and concise. So confused minds never buy. So if we're using overcomplicated wording, like if people don't understand what progressive overload is, then don't use words like that. If people don't understand what periodization is, then don't use words like that. Okay, use terms that people are going to understand, and just do your very best to not confuse people. Again, read it and sort of think, could a child understand this? Okay, and that's a really good sort of frame to look at this through, to try and keep your language simple. So good copy is extremely emotionally compelling and makes it seem to the prospect that you are the perfect solution to their problem and no one else could do a better job. So if we are using motivation and value, if we address pain points well, and we use simple language, and we do all of these things well, then we will achieve this bottom sentence here. Okay. And then finally, the last sort of optional element is social proof. So people trust what others say about your product more than what you say. Okay, you have a bias to big up your product, perhaps say it's better than it actually is, whereas other people don't really have any incentive to do so. So people trust the opinions of others rather than the person who owns the thing that they are trying to sell. So use social proof to build credibility. Imagine that everyone going to your page is the most skeptical person in the world, and they're constantly thinking this is BS. Okay, so have that in your mind, that everyone, as soon as you state something, they're going to probably think, well, I think that they're lying, and we need to back up what we're saying, and the best way of doing that is using social proof. So there's different ways of this. We can use testimonials, case studies, before and after results, or success statistics. But again, a lot of people, particularly this day and age, we struggle with trust. People don't trust people anymore, or hardly as much as they once did. So we need to make sure that we plaster our landing page with social proof so we can build up that trust as quickly as we possibly can. Okay, my favorite way of actually doing this, particularly if we're selling some sort of fat loss or body transformation program, and we're in the fitness industry, which is hopefully most of the people watching the video, before and after results are a really great way of doing this, because it's so visual, and a lot of other industries lack this sort of very visually clear opportunity to show the proof of their the proof of results. and proof of concept of the thing that they are selling. So make the most of that and use before and after pictures as much as you possibly can, because it really does tell a true, like a really clear and true story about the service that you provide and the results that you get for your clients or your customers. And then we've got some extra stuff. So this isn't really as much about the content, but these are some points to keep in mind. So AIDA, simple but effective. AIDA is a very simple marketing framework. If you've done any sort of business education, GCSE, A level, I don't know what the American equivalent for that, I guess in high school or college. But anyway, attention, interest, desire, action, a very simple marketing model, but it's being used here. So attention, we grab their attention with a powerful headline or offer. We build interest through an engaging video or image. We create desire through compelling copy and social proof, and then we make them take action through a clear CTA. So that's the flow of our landing page, and we're taking them through each step of the AIDA model. So imagine that you are having a conversation with the prospect as they scroll through the page. Predict their thoughts and their questions and answer them in the next section of the landing page. So as they read the headline, this might generate some sort of question in their mind. And then afterwards, we're using an image or a video, and that image and video answers the question that they have in their mind because of the headline. And then afterwards, they see a video and they think, I don't trust this. I don't believe that they're actually going to get me the results that they say they will. And then we include social proof so that they can believe us and trust that we can get them results. And then they think, okay, so how do I actually take action? Then we provide a clear call to action so that they can turn themselves into a lead. So we want to imagine that this is actually a conversation between us and the prospect, except we've predicted what the prospect is going to think and say, and we've answered those questions in the next section. Okay, so that's quite hard to do just like off the rip, but through testing and optimization, we can really nail this down and get it to a fine art to where hopefully people land on our landing page and they feel like they're having a conversation with us, but without us being there. So testing, like I've just mentioned, so even great landing pages can be improved. So the two most impactful elements to test are the headline or the media. Above the fold, basically the fold is anything below the scroll. So above the fold is as soon as someone clicks, what do they see on their page? That's above the fold. As soon as they scroll down, below the fold. Okay, but these are the two biggest needle movers when it comes to your conversion results. So if you're struggling to think about what you should actually test first, or you don't know what to test and you've been through loads of them and you now are struggling to understand what you should test, then just look to test the headline, try different headlines, try different media and see what happens. So 90% of the time, optimizing these two elements will have the biggest impact on your conversion rate. So I would say if you haven't done any tests yet, focus on these two things first, really get those dialed in, and then look at the copy and how you're displaying the social proof and what call to action you're using and stuff like that. And then finally, this is a little trick. If you're on Meta, include a line at the bottom of your landing page, just small print, doesn't have to be big, but make it clear to people on the landing page that this is not part of Meta and that you are a different company. Okay, make it clear to them that you are using Meta to advertise your services. However, you are not part of Meta. Okay, Meta like this is going to help the performance of your ads. So this only really works if you're pushing this landing page via an ad. If this landing page is just organic, like being pushed through organic, or you're using it as part of some sort of manual outreach, then you don't have to worry about this. But like I say, if you're using this for ads, then just include a quick little line at the bottom. Like I say, it doesn't have to be big, but this is quite simple to do and really does help out. Okay, so like I mentioned, I was going to show you some examples. So I've got 3 examples here, probably from brands that you will have heard of, I imagine. If we're in the fitness industry, we will have definitely heard of a few of them at least. So the first one I'm going to show you is an example of a good landing page, and it's going to basically show all of the things I've just spoken about in action, so you can see it in action. The next one is going to have some mistakes that we perhaps might want to avoid, and the last one also has some mistakes that we are going to look to avoid. So I've included the ad that the landing page is a part of, just so we have a bit more context. So the first one is a brand called March On, very big in the fitness industry, particularly if you're into the whole high rocks hybrid athlete scene. You'll be aware of March On, the guy Ollie March On. This came to my attention because of Ollie March On. He's built out quite a impressive personal brand within the UK fitness scene, and he's got some great gyms. I'm sure he provides a really good service, and his ads and his landing page are also really good. So There's a lot to learn from this guy. So this is the ad. I'm not going to go through it in too much detail, but essentially what he's promoting here is an 8-week training program that's ran via his app. And we can see here the benefits that people can look to receive of drop body fat, build strength, and get fit. Again, I'm not going to go through the actual ad. This is a good ad, but that's not what we're here for. So I click through to the call to action, and this is the landing page that we arrive at. So this is above the fold. Everything above this sort of white box here is above the fold. So let's run through what is happening here and why this is good. So a benefit focused headline. So get shredded in 8 weeks. The sub headline also touches on the how, so like the features, but not too much, and brings focus back to the benefits. So 8-week functional bodybuilding and nutrition program that will build muscle and shred fat for good. So we understand the context of what we're being sold here. We know that this is now a functional bodybuilding program along with some sort of nutrition program. So that's the how. Those are the features. That's how they're going to generate these results that they're promising for us. But that's not the focus. They circle back around to the benefits, and they mention that it will build muscle and shred fat for good. So some very clear benefits there, but they're still touching on the how. So people that are on this page have a bit of context on what they're actually being sold. And then also a very clear call to action, big green button there that will slide them through to the conversion event, which for this is actually it's a digital product, so there's no lead form here. It's just a purchasing form. So slightly different to perhaps the people that are watching this who are trying to sell gym memberships or coaching services, but the techniques and the approach still applies, but the product that is being sold is slightly different. And then we scroll through to this next sort of white box here. Again, we're talking about benefits and not features. Build consistency, break bad habits, get structure. You know, these are all benefits. These aren't 3 HIIT sessions a week. Hit your protein goal. Do 10,000 steps a day. Do functional bodybuilding. We're not talking about features at all. We're talking about benefits. So you can see that in action here. And we can see why it works. So next we have social proof. So they have hammered us with some social proof in this section. We have some success statistics from the last program that they ran. They also have some before and afters. This is a carousel. Obviously this is an image of their landing page, so we can't see that, but this is just a scrolling carousel of all the people that were in their program that have got results. And let's take an example for this guy in the middle here. If we're a bloke and we're the same sort of age as this guy, and we see ourselves in this first picture, we think, this is what I look like now. I'm not that, he doesn't look bad at all in this starting picture, but we can see the thought process. If we're looking at the before picture and we're thinking, this is how I look, this is how I feel, and this is a state that I'm not happy with, and the after picture is how I would love to look. Okay, I'd love to look like this. I'd love to be in shape like that. I'd love to have abs like that. We can now emotionally buy into this program far more because we see ourselves in the before picture and we can imagine ourselves in the after picture, and by doing that we have emotionally bought into this thing that we are being pushed via the landing page. Okay, so we emotionally invest ourselves so much because we see ourselves in the before and after pictures. Okay, so not only are we showing proof of concept and proof of results, but we're also allowing people to emotionally buy in because we can visually see the changes, or we can visually see the problem, i.e. their before picture, and the solution or the goal after picture. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. And then we get hit with some very good copy, okay, supported by some more imagery. So this is obviously a very well built out landing page. It looks very professional. So we don't just, in the copy, we can't just have one video or one image. You know, we can get creative. We can make it look nice. That's going to help our conversion rate if it looks professional, because that reflects well on our business. But we can see here that the tactics and the approach stays the same. So I'm not going to read all the copy, but just reading one of these sections, we've got functional training program. So an 8-week functional bodybuilding program designed to change your physique, boost your fitness, and build strength, getting you ready for anything. Okay, so we can actually see in the image that supports this section, we can see the app, we can see how it works, and we can see that there's an upper body workout, and the starting exercise for the upper body workout is 15 dumbbell bench press with hip bridge. So what they're not doing here is functional training program. On day 5, you will be doing an upper body program, and you will start with 15 reps of dumbbell bench press with, they're not talking about the features, they're not talking about the how. They're simply giving you a little bit of context in extremely high level. They're not talking about it too much. They're giving you a very, very high level definition of what this is, which is a functional bodybuilding program. Okay, and then afterwards they dive right into the benefits, which is designed to change your physique, benefit 1, boost your fitness, benefit 2, and build strength, benefit 3, getting you ready for anything, benefit 4. Okay, so in these basically 3 lines of text, very short, they've touched on the how very briefly, and they've given you 4 clear benefits. So we can see that 20% of this is focused on the how, and the other 80% is talking about the benefits. So hopefully we can see that this in action, where people focus on the benefits or the problems they solve and not the how. And then finally, we've got the final call to action. So at the end of the page, this is a nice end of the journey that the viewer has been, they've gone through, and it sort of rounds off the funnel well. Like I say, this is actually a digital product, so they're basically, this is an order form that we're sending people through, or they're sending people through to, not a lead form. But we can see that the techniques and the approach used to build out this landing page is very similar to the techniques and the approach that I've just discussed when going through that presentation. So we can see how a lot of the skills and everything that's gone into this landing page is going to be transferable through to our landing pages. If you're watching this and you're a gym owner, you're an online coach, you're starting a fitness challenge or a fitness program, or you're opening a new location, whatever you're doing, if you're in the fitness industry, the techniques remain the same. So yeah, and then at the end they've got some FAQs. So if we are not having any sort of one-to-one sales situation, i.e. a call or a meeting, then we don't have the opportunity to overcome any objections that people may still have after reading the landing page. Like, I don't know if this will work for me, I need time to think about it, I need to ask my partner if they're okay with me spending money on it, whatever it may be. Insert typical objection here. They are looking to overcome these objections in the frequently asked questions part. But if you are asking for lead forms and you're asking for contact information, I would say that you should be handling objections on that sales call or on that sales meeting rather than on your landing page. You might be able to include FAQs that might help. Again, this is something we can test, but I would recommend that you're going to want to be looking to deal with any objections that people may have when you can speak to them face to face and you're actually having a conversation with them and not on the landing page. So that's an example of a good landing page. Okay, I'm sure if you look at any of their other landing pages or any of their other ads, there's a lot to be learned from those guys. Whoever's doing their ads, either the agency that's doing it or the team that they have that's doing it, are doing a stellar job. So well done to them. Not that they need it from me, but anyway. So next we're going to use David Lloyd as an example. Now, if you're watching this and you're in the UK, then you definitely would have heard of David Lloyd. They're a huge brand, quite a high up sort of leisure club, state of the art stuff. They spend a lot of money on their kit, but the memberships to a David Lloyd are premium. Okay, they're quite expensive. So it's designed for a certain type of clientele. Now the ad, I'm not going to go through too much, but essentially they're just advertising, try a 3-month membership. So there's no discount, there's no deal here really. They're just advertising that you can start off with a 3-month membership. So here is the headline: try a 3-month membership today. So headline has no real benefit, okay, simply states a normal offer. So we could perhaps add value to this and make it seem more valuable to someone who's landing on the landing page by including something else, some sort of free incentive. Perhaps this could be a free goodie bag when you start. Perhaps this could be no joining fee. Perhaps this could be some free guest passes. Perhaps this could be a free health checkup or a free health consultation, something like that, to add incentive. But I'm going to go through why David Lloyd probably aren't using all the techniques that we've covered at the end of this. But if we're watching this and we own our own sort of private gym and we've started our own gym, then we don't want to mimic brands like David Lloyd for this reason. So I'll explain that at the end, but let me go through the pros and the cons of this page. So the image is good, okay, tells a bit of a story, and the sign up form is above the fold, which is good, so it's easy for people to access, so people can click on the call to action. They come to this page, they sort of see this sort of top third here, they can see the form and they know exactly what they need to do. And we can see this in action where David Lloyd is simply asking for name, so first name, last name, number and email, nothing more, nothing less. That's very common practice when it comes to lead forms. Now we scroll down and we've got 10 reasons to join David Lloyd clubs. Now the reasons that they give aren't exactly reasons as such, or I wouldn't describe these as reasons. This would just be 10 features that might make you want to join David Lloyd. Okay, and we talk about the 1,000 tennis courts that they have across all of their locations, the accredited kids tennis and swim programs, the 400 tennis coaches, over 300 swimming pools, and they go on. And these are all features which we've spoken about isn't ideal for most people to speak about. So if we wanted to turn these features into benefits, what we could say, if we take the example of the accredited kids tennis and swim programs, rather than saying that they're accredited swimming and tennis programs, we could say put your kid through like second to none or top-notch tennis and swimming programs. It's shown that children, if they are active via sport, not only are they going to be in better shape and have healthier bodies going into adulthood, but they're also part of a community, they're building social relationships, their social skills are improving, meaning that they find adult life and the wide world once they turn 18 or 21 or whatever, they take to it easier because they have those social skills built up from a young age. Okay, so those are clear benefits. Okay, healthier lifestyle for the children, better social skills for the children so they're better prepared for life. These are the kind of things that we could speak about if we were trying to look at it from more of a benefit angle rather than the features. So hopefully we can see how we're turning features or the how into a benefit. And then at the bottom, there's no call to action. So if people want to actually turn into a lead, there's no quick, easy button that's clear for them to see at the bottom that sends them right back up to the form. They're just expected to scroll back up. But what I am going to make clear is David Lloyd is a huge UK brand. Okay, so known for being high-end and a luxury gym group, like I mentioned earlier. So they will not have to rely on the techniques that we have mentioned because they have a very strong brand. Okay, so brand, they have already built up this huge, very reputable brand. And by doing so, what they allow themselves to do is not have to rely on these marketing techniques and approaches as much because they've already built up such trust and goodwill. So people that go to a David Lloyd, I imagine a lot of them don't really need selling. So if someone moves into a new area and they've already been part of David Lloyd, or you know, they want more of a premium experience when it comes to their fitness and health and training and all of that, they know what they're going to get when it comes to a David Lloyd. They don't really need selling. And the only reason that that is the case is because David Lloyd has this brand. It has goodwill and trust built into their brand. So they don't need to rely on these techniques that we've mentioned because of that. So this is why it's important to know who is good and who is bad when it comes to taking inspiration from. So if we're looking at the march on gyms, it might be more suitable for you to take inspiration from these guys because these guys are providing a service similar to you, or they're in a position similar to you. Okay, they don't have the 20 plus years of brand exposure that David Lloyd have. Okay, they're a fairly young company. Okay, they're definitely up and coming. They've built a good brand already, but they're not at the level of David Lloyd, so they can't rely on the sort of lazy, I'll use the word loosely, the lazy marketing approach that David Lloyd have, because they don't have that brand built up. So something to keep in mind. Be careful who we're taking inspiration from when it comes to marketing. Now, finally, a good example of what not to do. Fitness for less. Now, they're advertising your ticket to fitness is here. Okay, so this is a gym membership. They're basically selling a membership here, but the incentives are a zero joining free, and you get a guest pass freebies to share with friends. No code needed. They go on to explain what that looks like in slightly more detail. Good ad, fine. Again, we're not going into the ads, we're talking about landing pages. So I clicked on the sign up button and I went through to this page, which basically asks me to pick the location that best suits me. So The landing page will ask you to select a location that suits you. So this is a bit lazy from whoever is running these ads. So separate ad sets for each physical location would avoid this step of the funnel. So the less steps, the better the conversion rates will be. So instead of making the prospect or the viewer of the ad do the heavy lifting in terms of selecting a location that works best for them, what they should do is they should have different campaigns for all 7 of these locations. They should set the proper targeting, as in location targeting, for these ads. And then each one of those ad sets should fall to a landing page specifically designed for that location. So, and this wouldn't be hard to do. Obviously, there's already separate landing pages for each of the locations because these buttons on this landing page have to lead to somewhere. So the landing pages are there. It's just whoever's setting up this meta campaign hasn't taken it upon themselves to separate their campaigns by location. They're probably just doing one big UK ad, and they're making the prospects or the potential leads do that extra bit of work, which I think they should be doing themselves. Okay, so that's what I would do if I was running the ads for this Fitness for Less brand. And then, so I clicked, just so we know the sort of journey I've gone on. Northampton is a town, or sorry, a city that's quite close to me. It's about an hour away. It's probably the closest of all of these. So I clicked on that just to see where it would take me. And then I went through to this, another landing page. And this tells us about a rebrand of their Northampton location to this top-notch gyms. We can see the logo here. Now, as I was doing the research for this video, you know, it was quite late and I'd done all my sort of daily tasks and I was just doing research for the video. And I didn't really read this that much, okay? I didn't want to read all of this copy. I just saw big news. I thought, okay, fine. And then I saw a button here, Explore Top-Notch Gyms, Northampton. And I didn't really bother to look at the logo here. I didn't read the copy here, which basically explains that the Fitness for Less in Northampton has rebranded to Top-Notch Gyms. So I clicked the call to action and then I got taken through to this landing page, and I was obviously confused because I thought, well, now I'm on a completely different company's landing page. I've gone from Fitness to Less to this sort of different brand. I don't know what it is. I haven't heard of them before. That's not a dig at them, but I just genuinely haven't heard of them. We've gone from this sort of grey and orange colouring to black and white. So it's clear that it's not the same company. The only thing that has some sort of resemblance is the imagery used. So this lady with her hair sort of swinging around in the orange vest is also used here. So that's the only sort of connection. But there's a big disconnect between the starting landing page where we click through on the ad and the actual ad itself. You look at the ad, the company name, the colours used in the ad. There's a big disconnect between that and where I actually come to turn myself into a lead. So now there is new branding, colours and messaging. The only thing that is the same is the singular image. So this could be very confusing to a viewer if they didn't take the time to read the last page. And we know that a confused mind never buys. We've talked about that a lot. And a good way of confusing a buyer is by having a large disconnect between the thing that you have sent to them. So in this case, an ad, but this could be an email, it could be a DM, whatever your sort of form of marketing is. If there's a big disconnect between your initial outreach or your initial touch point and the conversion event and the conversion location, which for us is a landing page with a lead form on it. If there's a big disconnect between those two, then that creates a massive amount of confusion, or it could do. And like I say, as soon as someone is confused, they will not buy. So we need to make sure that everything is cohesive, everything follows a very sort of singular train of thought, and there is no way that we can confuse someone either by confusing language, introducing too many different things at once and we're not focusing on one singular thing, or in this case there being a big disconnect between the start point and the end point of the journey that we're taking a potential lead on. Now, if you're a business owner and you're within the fitness industry, you're a gym owner, fitness facility owner, maybe an online coach, and you're looking at this video and you're thinking all of this sounds like a lot of hard work and you don't really have the time to do it around serving your customers and providing a great service, and you want a bit more of a hands-on solution and a personalized solution to your customer acquisition problem, then we have a service that will help you out with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link in the description below. That's going to take you to our funnel. On that you'll see a video of me explaining how we might be able to help out and solve this problem for you. So that's for the few of you that are interested in, like I say, a more hands-on approach. If not, no problem. I'm glad you've made it to the end of the video. I hope you found it valuable. Please subscribe, as I'm going to be consistently posting videos about sales, marketing, anything to do with the fitness industry that's going to help you get more customers and do that more predictably and reliably. So like I say, subscribe, and the link is down there if you are interested in a bit more of a hands-on solution to your customer acquisition problem.